637, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, since my mother passed away, I don't know if I will ever return to California. Ever. And as far as I'm concerned, good riddance. There's a story, you heard Ken talking about it during the newscast. This is the headline from the New York Post. California, $20 wage increases for fast food workers to begin today. And they are talking about how it's going to impact stores. And, you know, a lot of folks who listen to Nashville's Morning News, you're managers, you're business owners. You create jobs. You try to treat your employees fairly. What would happen if the federal government or the state government came to you and said that you have got to increase a minimum wage to $20 an hour or else? What would you do? See, anybody who has ever actually run a business would tell you that you have no choice. At some point, you have to start cutting people back, cutting hours, or raising prices. I mean, we have seen over and over again the examples of some of these, you know, do-gooder business owners who decide, I'm going to raise the rate of my employees to whatever it is, artificially raising it. And by and large, those companies end up having to shut their doors because you can't artificially raise the rate of what you pay people. You can't just say, okay, $20 an hour. Everybody's going to get $20 an hour and not have it impact service or prices. Yet somehow California thought that they could get away with this. And now you have all of these business owners bemoaning the fact that this is going to impact their bottom line. And ultimately now what this is going to do is impact everyone in California and their bottom line, because a lot of these businesses are simply going to raise the prices of the food and the services that they provide. Again, this is from the New York Post. Most fast food workers in California will be paid at least $20 an hour beginning today, when a new law is scheduled to kick in, giving more financial security to a historically low-paying profession while threatening to raise prices in a state already known for its high cost of living. Let me ask you a question. You ever work in fast food? Johnny, Ken, you guys ever work in fast food? You folks on the Members Nutrition Super Text line, you ever work in fast food? I did. And you know what I noticed about fast food and working in fast food? It was terrible. I'm not going to lie. And if you work in fast food, you know what? And you enjoy it, great for you. Good on you. But for most people, as you know, working in fast food is supposed to be transitory. It's supposed to be something that you do as a first job. Maybe you're doing it just to get by. It's not supposed to be a long-term career. And you see, that is what is lost on Governor Gavin Newsom, the California state legislature as well, is you're not supposed to try to convince people to stay in these jobs for long periods of time. Because I hate to break it to you, but $20 an hour in California isn't great either. We need to be able to, as a nation, encourage people to become the best of what they can be. And trying to convince them to stay in a job that limits their ability and limits their income. Even if it is $20 an hour, you're not doing those people any favors. Best thing I ever did was get out of the fast food business because they didn't pay me any money and I didn't like it. It was awful. Democrats in the state legislature passed the law last year, in part as part of an acknowledgement that many of the more than 500,000 people who work in fast food restaurants are not teenagers earning some spending money, but adults working to support their families. Again, that's a problem. And that includes migrants like Ingrid Valorio, who said that she started working at a McDonald's shortly after arriving in the United States in 2019. And it goes on and on. And so now you have, and I know that you folks, by and large, you know where this story is going. Since it has passed, many franchise owners now bemoaning the impact the law is having on them, especially during California's slowing economy. Can you imagine? I want you to think about this. Can you imagine being a business owner in San Francisco and how you would be able to deal with all of the crime, all of the homelessness, and now the California state legislature and the governor are mandating that you have to pay the people that work for you $20 an hour? I mean, this is going to lead to businesses closing and prices rising. And if you're a business owner in San Francisco or like Oakland, what in the world are you going to do? Alex Johnson owns 10 Auntie Anne's Pretzels and Cinnabon restaurants in the San Francisco Bay Area. He said sales have slowed in 2024, prompting him to have layoffs, and he's had to lay off his office staff and rely on his parents to help with payroll and human resources. Increasing his employees' wages will cost Johnson about $470,000 each and every year. He says he's going to have to raise prices anywhere from 5 to 15% at his stores and is no longer hiring or seeking to open new locations in California. Again, this is what's going on in California. And this is why businesses are closing in California. Listen to this. I saw this. I couldn't believe it. Instead of trying to fix the problem, listen to what the city of Oakland and the state of California is trying to do. Because you know what's going on in Oakland, right? Everybody knows what's going on in Oakland and San Francisco, but especially Oakland, where you've got rampant crime, rampant drugs, rampant migrants, rampant homelessness, and people are just fleeing. The Oakland airport is actually now considering adding San Francisco Bay to the name of the airport to attract more travelers. So let's not try to fix the problem. Let's just change the name. Can you imagine if you hopped on a plane and you go to San Francisco Bay thinking that you're going to actual San Francisco, and you get out of the airport and realize that you're in Oakland? I don't know if there's any real area that's safe in Oakland these days. But that's insanity. And the funny thing is, by wanting to change the name, they're acknowledging that there's problems. They're acknowledging that Oakland and the entire Bay Area is a complete and utter train wreck. They say the Port of Oakland will consider changing the name of the city's airport to San Francisco Bay Oakland International Airport from the current official title of Metropolitan Oakland International Airport. Because they want to try to get away from the word Oakland. Do you know why they want to get away from Oakland? Because they know that the title of that city, the name of the city, Oakland, is emblematic of what is wrong with Democrat rule. Because you have a lot of the things that are wrong with Democrat-run cities all tied up in a bow right there in the Bay Area, and specifically in Oakland. You've got soft on crime policies, George Soros DAs. You've got crime that is running rampant. You've got businesses fleeing Oakland as well. But again, let's not try to fix it. Let's just change the name. They say while the airport code would remain OAK for Oakland, the new name would boost inbound travelers' geographic awareness of the airport's location on the San Francisco Bay. I can't imagine being the guy that thinks he's flying into San Francisco, which is its own kind of hellscape. And then you land into Oakland. They say the airport has lost routes, including 39 of 54 that were added from July 2008 to March of 2024. Interim Director of Aviation Craig Simon says market research and interviews with airline partners have shown that routes have not performed as well as they should have due to the lack of geographic awareness, making all carriers reluctant to sustain and add new routes going into Oakland. They say that rechristening the airport would protect 30,000 direct jobs and $1.6 billion in economic impact on the region. The port's commissioners will consider the name change at their April 11th meeting. See, I don't think it has anything to do with, and I'm going to air quote here, awareness that it's on the San Francisco Bay. I think they understand that by and large, the American people are terrified of flying into Oakland, because Oakland has a terrible reputation, not only in California, but across the country. And quite frankly, probably across the world, too, if anybody pays attention to what's going on in the city of Oakland and people that pay attention to what's going on in America by and large. But you see, I think this is emblematic of the problems that Democrats have. And that is that they don't want to fix the problem. They don't want to fix the issues, because that would mean admitting that their policies and what they have done for years are destroying economies and destroying American cities. The focus on transgender, which is something we talked about earlier, or the focus on, this $20 minimum wage, which is what they're doing in California, destroying businesses, allowing crime to run rampant. These are all things that are impacting God-fearing Californians. And that's why they're fleeing. So, you can sit here and you can change the name of the airport, but what you can't do is hide the ramifications and the consequences of years of Democrat rule, where it has led to this moment where great American cities, once great American cities, are dying.